after a bit of a stint in Lombok. I'm back in Denpasar again, and today I'm going to have a walk around this area of town, which is Jalan Thamrin. I'm out the front of a thing called the Denpasar Cineplex, but it actually looks like a market of some sort. I might just go inside and have a look at what this place is. Another market which I don't know about, but looks very old. We'll have a bit of a look around, a little poke around, then we'll go and find something to eat and a bit of a coffee maybe. A little clock shop over there. That dude can fix watches and change watch batteries, I guess. Lots of clothing. I mean, this is a multi-floor complex in here. Hello. And I'm sure you can find anything you want. Hello. Wow, this is incredible how much clothing there is in here. Jeans, like a pair of jeans, how much do they cost? No price. There's just so many different shops here selling so many different types of clothes, all different styles. Oh. I'm not sure if it's wholesale or not. It doesn't look to be wholesale. A lot of locally produced stuff, and then I can see some Chinese import stuff as well. I mean, it all looks really good quality. I'm sure the prices would be really good as well. They seem to be packaging a lot of this clothing up as well, which I'm guessing they must be wholesaling. Hello. Hello. They must be doing wholesale as well. I'll just go up these stairs, see if there's anything else up here. Because I mean, I thought when I'm standing outside the Cineplex, it should be like a movie theatre of some sort, but maybe it's not that. Oh, that's weird. What have I come into here? Some sort of office area. I was actually going around the back there. I thought I could smell popcorn. And there is a little cinema here. Isn't that pretty cool? Oh, old school. I love it. I love this sort of stuff. I wonder what the ticket prices are like. I bet you they're cheap. Okay, I got the prices. $30,000 for the expensive tickets. That's crazy, isn't it? And the cheap tickets are only $20,000. They do have, they're mainly actually Indonesian films, but they do have occasionally English speaking films in there, and same price, basically. Well, that's cool. There's your Cineplex. Then I'm back into this market, which is pretty weird. I don't know why it's like that, but that's the story. Look at that old clock, that's pretty cool, eh? Anyway, that's the Denpasar Cineplex. If you're ever interested in going to a cheap movie, or even maybe seeing an Indonesian movie and learning a bit of Indonesian, that might be a go as well. And I reckon if you're the type of person who's looking for cheap clothing, that might be a place to go as well. Looks like it's one of those ones. It's a little bit off the beaten track, but will have good prices. Wholesaling too. All right, I'm just going to take a left down this road here, because I did spot a food place down there that I wanted to check out, because I'm hungry and I haven't had anything to eat today. Not sure what sort of part of town I've sort of stumbled into here, but it looks really interesting. Like even that structure there, I don't even know what that is. It looks like it's got some sort of temple function, but also some sort of official function as well, like an office, but I'm not even sure. And then over here, Gereja Kristen. So Gereja is church, and Kristen is Christian. So that is your Abdi El Zion Christian church. That's nice, isn't it? Nice stained glass as well. I do see some Chinese writing on that church, which may indicate that there are a large number of Chinese Indonesians who go to that church. Not sure though, that's just my guess. Which is an interesting subject in itself, because Chinese Indonesians, historically, when they came to Indonesia, were Confucius or Buddhist religions. So you've got to have an official religion here in Indonesia, and they'd either choose what they call Confucius or Buddhism. And they still are in many parts of Indonesia, but in a lot of the cities, religion has changed with Chinese Indonesians, and a lot have either chosen to be Catholic or Christian. Here we go, this is a kopitiam that I wanted to go to. Let's have a little look at what they've got here. Small little place. So this is kopitiam style. It's like, you could say peranakan, but basically Chinese style food that is specific to Malaysia, Singapore and Indonesia. It has a very specific feel to it. You have things like the traditional coffee, like kopi O, kopi C, that sort of thing. And they'll do small snacky type food. So they'll do your nasi goreng, they'll do your kway teow goreng, mee goreng. They'll do little bits of dim sum. They've got all that on the menu here. Very easy to sort of go with, like dumplings, spring rolls, that sort of thing. They'll do kaya toast as well. Not as popular as used to be in Indonesia. It sort of declined a little bit in many areas. Many sort of older school Chinese Indonesians have sort of passed away, and their family members haven't really taken on those businesses in a lot of cases. You do see this style of business happening a lot more in Singapore, but I think in Singapore it's probably a bit of a dying thing as well. Just getting back to the religion thing between Catholic and Christians here in Indonesia. So officially, because the country has 6 religions, Catholicism and Christianity are classed as 2 different religions and are treated quite differently as well. A lot of Chinese Indonesians have chosen to be Christians, a lot have chosen to be Catholics. Not as many have become Muslims, but some have become Muslims as well. Buddhism is still pretty strong in some areas of Indonesia. So if you go to a place like Medan, you'd probably find more Buddhists in Medan than you would in a place like Bandung, which has most of their Chinese Indonesians converted across to Christianity or Catholicism. So it's quite a regional thing that has happened there. I mean, I don't make any judgment on it at all. I just think it's a really interesting observation, honestly. And for example, my wife Susan, she's a Chinese Indonesian she's a Christian, but it's her great-grandfather that came over to Indonesia from China back in the 1920s or something like that, and brought his young daughter across, who is Susan's grandmother, who then had Susan's father, and then Susan was born here as well. So Susan's connection to China is quite, well, it's not really anything. She can hear some Chinese words, but doesn't really speak Chinese language. She speaks the local language of where she grew up, which is Sundanese, obviously speaks Indonesian as well. And that's quite common across a lot of Chinese Indonesians. But I think it's really important to know that they are Indonesians, they're not Chinese. You know, I think that when I first heard of Chinese Indonesians, I just thought they were Chinese that lived in Indonesia, but they're not. They're Indonesians who have ancestry that goes back to the Chinese days, like 100 years ago or more. Because it's quite hot today, I'm starting off with an iced coffee. They call it kopi jadul, and the spelling on the menu is the old spelling. Jadul means old-fashioned. Geez, it tastes good. So some of the spelling in Indonesia, like the letter J used to be spelt DJ. So Jakarta used to be DJ Jakarta rather than just J Jakarta. The letter U used to be OE. This is all from the Dutch days. So Jadul was spelt DJ A D-O-E-L in the past rather than just J-A-D-U-L. That was some sort of program. I think it was Suharto or Sukarno, I can't remember which one, was trying to standardise some of the language across both Indonesia and Malaysia, I believe. So that's how they came to that. But one of the interesting things is that some people's names are still spelt the old way. Even Suharto itself, that name is sometimes spelt the old way. Sukarno, the same thing. Spelt the old way. And there's a bit of a feeling about it. If you have a place that's a little bit old-fashioned, you might even title your store with some of those old letters in it to make it feel more authentic. There's my nasi goreng. That was cooked fresh just now. Let's give it a go. Bit of chicken in there as well. That's 27,000 for the nasi goreng and 22,500 for the coffee. The thing is with nasi goreng, you can get bad ones, like a lot of them. There's some foods you say, oh, you can't get a bad nasi goreng, but you can. I've had a lot of really terrible ones. This is a very good one. These staff here, absolutely brilliant, very friendly people. Banyuwangi, dari mana?
From Bali.
Bali, Banyuwangi. Thank you, yeah. See ya, bye. Nice people, nice people. Let's get out there and have a look around. Oh, another church. Like that's literally, I don't know, 50 metres from the other church. Another sort of like, I don't know, Aliran or something like that. So I've turned down a road called Jalan Merapi now. So I'm heading in a southerly direction. I actually want to go and see, I know there's I don't even know what the English word is. It's kuburan, like a setra, that's the Balinese word, like a graveyard or whatever it is, like a cemetery, that's it. A cemetery. The reason I want to go there is that on my way in on the motorbike today, I had, there was a massive traffic jam going down one of the major roads in all of Denpasar. Massive traffic jam. I was going, what's going on here? And as I get to the front of the traffic jam, there's a large procession, a funeral procession. And what's really interesting about it is that there were no frustrations at all, no beeping, no angry people. People were just patiently wheeling their bikes, thousands of us, behind this big procession. And I'm assuming they're going to this local cemetery, so I'll get down there and have a look at what's going on down there, see if there's anything of note, while still trying to be respectful as well. I actually just spotted this out of the corner of my eye. It looks like a little old school coffee shop. Is it open? It's got a bit of character to it. Looks closed, doesn't it? Hello, Buka?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, we're open. Open for business. Hot cappuccino, yeah?
Hot cappuccino?
Yeah. So we're getting a white coffee here. White coffees are 24,000. Well, that's cheap, isn't it? Nice little spot to sit out at the front. Look at that, beautiful. And then inside, they've got a bit of air conditioning. Not too cold in here if you want to sit inside. Of course, so Indonesian coffee culture really is more of an evening thing. Although I've noticed a little bit more in the morning happening, but yeah, that's why it's a bit quiet at the moment. Everyone's at work. Just speaking to the barista here, and they're quite new here, so they were saying, oh, I'm a bit sorry about if there's anything wrong, but that's a really polite Indonesian thing to do, is to apologise in advance for any kekurangan. But I know it's going to be good.
Mantap.
It's actually a nice coffee, especially when you're talking about 24,000. Really good coffee. I was just sitting here and I saw this little sign here, born to play rugby. And I was speaking to Widdy, the barista here, like, what is that? Why have you got a sticker that says born to play rugby? And Widdy said that she is part of the Bali Starlings, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Starlings.
And yeah, they play international tournaments. They have to train setiap hari ya?
Yeah, setiap hari.
And every weekend bersama timnya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that cool? We have in Bali some rugby teams. I didn't even know it. I don't even really hear about this stuff most of the time. Maybe I'm a little bit not hooked in enough, but isn't that interesting? I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you, Widdy.
Thank you.
Okay, let's keep going. Love that place. Nice little stop on the way through the backstreets, on my way to the cemetery. I was just walking past this thing and I can see two guns up there. It says M16 on them. This is Jero Gede Talaga Permadilan. And I don't know what that means. So if you know, leave a comment, because I don't know what it means and it looks interesting. Seems pretty important. That's a cool one. The Wali Kota Cup. So Wali Kota is the mayor. That means mayor. And Angkat Besi. Weightlifting. It's pretty cool, eh? Angkat, it's interesting because the word angkat means to lift, and then besi is usually the word for iron. Oh, that's a cool little temple or whatever that is there. I don't even know if that's the actual temple. I'm not sure what that is. But it's like, it looks like one of those things where you bang the wooden thing on top. It's like a call to the village. There it is. Balai Kulkul. That's that thing there that they bang the wood on there to alert the village. It feels like I'm in like that cemetery area. Like that's what it feels like. I'm just seeing a lot more of those buildings, those old ceremonial style buildings around the place. So I must be just around the corner, I reckon. Pretty sure that's what I was looking for. Setra Agun Badung. So let's have a look, see if I can get in here. I think I should be okay. I don't. Usually these sorts of burial grounds, like they're pretty openly sort of available to walk into. You don't want to be going disrespecting anyone, but like if I look through here, like it's not really like a temple or anything. It's just like a road that goes into a big open area. So we'll have a look around. That is a beautiful, beautiful tree there as well. I'm not sure what sort of tree that is. Often you see banyan trees, but I'm not even sure it's a banyan tree. It's just enormous. All right, so there's a there's smoke everywhere down here. I'm just seeing big funeral pyres all the way in the bushes over there. There's something going on over there. So obviously this is the main funeral ground for this area, and it's quite, it's quite big. The pile of smoke over there is actually not part of the funeral, like cremation. That's more like just burning the, well, what happens is that whole thing there gets burnt as well, you see. So they've got to deconstruct that and throw it on the fire pit as well. So sometimes you get confused between what's actually being cremated and what, you know, all the paraphernalia that sort of accompanies it as well. I'm just following the son of the guy who's died, and he wants me to come and join them over here, which I'm a little bit reluctant to do because it feels quite awkward. But he's saying, come over. He was just telling me about the bones are just about to be burnt to dust, and after that's done, they take them to the ocean. So that's what's going on there. There's a guy with a big metal stick crushing it up and all that sort of stuff, and they've got the fire in there. So that's what's going on. I mean, I try and be respectful and try not to get too close, but if I'm invited, I'll obviously accept the invitation. Incidentally, the guy who has died is 81 years old. The guy was also saying that, because I said, is it expensive to have one of these? Because I'd heard that having a funeral here is expensive. And what he said to me was, it can be, but it's your choice. He said that Balinese Hinduism is flexible, and if you don't have a lot of money, it's okay to do a very simple ceremony. You don't have to go all in and pay all this money. And maybe you feel some cultural obligation or some obligation from your friends and family, but from a religious point of view, that's not required. I've said it before and I'll say it again, these funerals are quite special. Well, I really think they're an amazing part of Balinese culture. A real community event that everyone comes along and sees off one of the members of the community, and of course people are sad, but it's not this big grieving process that goes on in public like you might expect. It's actually a little bit more restrained than that, and people are actually happy to see that their loved ones are actually going back to, you know, back to the ocean or back to Mother Earth. It's an odd thing which I don't fully understand from an emotional point of view, because I think emotionally you must be wrecked, but you've got to put on this brave face because you don't want the spirits to sort of think, hang on, I can't leave here, I can't leave you while you're feeling this way. It's one of those things. Yeah, I do struggle with it actually from an emotional point of view, how I would cope with that. That's a really cool word to see there. Dr. Hewan. That's a vet. What's interesting about the word hewan is that it means animal, but there are other words that can also mean animal, like binatang. And you might wonder why there would be two words for the same thing, animal. Well, when you say the words, they feel different, and it's hard to explain really, but when you say the word dog in English, if you say that in a slightly different way, it can sound really bad. But if you're saying, well, what sort of animal is that? Oh, it's a dog, it's fine. And in Indonesian, you have different feelings for words as well. So the word hewan is quite a neutral word for animal. But because the word animal can also be used as a pejorative, like it can be in English, you might say the word binatang, and if you don't say it correctly, if you say it in the wrong context, like, oh, you're like a binatang, of course that's got a negative context to it, a negative feeling. But of course, binatang can be used just a more casual word to mean animal. So when you're speaking in a more sort of polite way, or they're in a particular context, you would use the word hewan rather than binatang. But in everyday talk, just use binatang. That's the short way of putting it anyway. Sometimes you'll probably wonder, how on earth are you ever going to learn all those little nuances? And it takes a long time. The nuances are the things that take ages to learn. The feeling about words takes forever, like takes many, many years. But you've got to start somewhere, and having someone explain it gives you a massive head start, so that when you hear the word in the future, you know, hey, that's got a bit of a different feeling from the other word, which has got a similar meaning. I'm getting lost in the backstreets here of Pemachutan. Pemachutan apparently is the Kelurahan. Kelurahan is the lowest level of government in Indonesia where you have paid positions. Below that, they're not really supposed to be paid. Hello! Main layangan ya?
Ya.
Ya. Boleh naik juga? Boleh naik? Yeah. I'm going to go up and see what these guys are doing, playing with their kites. Permisi ya. Oh, harus lepaskan sepatu. Oh ya, oke, makasih ya. Ya, makasih ya. Hati-hati ya. Oh, main layangan. Oh, look at this. Aku tinggal di Sanur tapi asli Australia. Oh, di mana layangannya?
Itu tinggi sekali tuh di dekat matahari.
Oh! Alright, I can't show it on camera because it's so small and so far away. It's about 300 metres in the sky. So any low-flying aircraft, beware. Right up there next to the sun. There are a few in the distance as well. Bagaimana bisa naik dari sini?
Berdiri di sini.
Ya, terus? Nggak usah lari?
Nggak usah.
Woi.
Anginnya kencang di sini.
Ah, ya. Anginnya kencang. Kenapa?
Bahasa Indonesianya Pak.
Oh, terima kasih ya.
Lama di Bali.
2 tahun di Bali, 12 tahun di Jawa Barat.
Oh, pantas.
Yeah, these kids are really cheeky. This guy said he wants to be on camera because he wants to go viral because he reckons he's ganteng, which is handsome.
Handsome.
They're all handsome. Ganteng semuanya. I don't know how they're going to get this kite down. God, it's high. I reckon it could be even longer than 300 metres. Like, it just seems so far away.
Datangan tamu.
Now they're filming me so I can go viral. Yeah. Yeah. Makasih. Yeah. Hey. Ya, pelan-pelan. Ya. Okay, pelan-pelan, slow. Permisi ya. Ya, makasih. Hear that? Hati-hati om. So hati-hati means be careful, take care on the roads, and om is like uncle. They don't want to call me pup, which is nice, it's a bit respectful really. Om is more warm, you know? Even if a person is a sir, calling someone om is quite respectful as well. That whole family is just so wonderful and polite and kind and warm. I've said it a lot of times in these videos, but when I come away from those sort of interactions, my day is made. You could be stressed, you could be angry before you come out. You have those interactions with such lovely people, and it makes your day. And I think, you know, we could learn a few things about this sort of behaviour in the West as well. Smiling at people and being polite to people and being nice to people is so... Well, it's just so... I reckon it probably makes you live longer as well. Well, like it probably does if you really have all these great interactions. Love it. One of these little kids from earlier has just followed me and he said, oh, there's a lake over here. I want to show it to you. An urban lake. So he's going to show me. I'm just going to keep walking. He's getting his friend. He's going to get on the back of the bike and they're going to show me where this lake is, which is interesting. I reckon it's over the back of these houses somewhere. So I don't know what it is they're showing me here. Yeah, they've ditched the bicycle and now they're on foot in here somewhere. But that just looks like a river. Di sini?
Yeah.
Oh, tapi harus lewat sini. Now I was saying, oh, I reckon that kite's like 300 metres high, and I was saying, like, it sounded like a bit of an exaggeration. Well, the kids here have just told me that the actual string on that reel is 600 metres long. So, like, and he said, oh, you've got to be careful. If there's any helicopters around, this could be dangerous. Yeah, it could be. All right, I don't know where we're going here, but they reckon this used to be a market. Like, it must have been a long time ago. And there's no way I would have found this on my own. All right, here we go. So I asked them, why is there a gate? And they said, oh, it's just so the kids can't get in, the young kids. It's not that you're not allowed to come in here. It's just so the kids can't come in here, apparently. I also asked, why is this land here in the middle of the city? And they said, oh, well, the government has purposely just ignored it because they don't want to develop all parts of the land. And I reckon that's a pretty smart response, isn't it? Oh, wow! Besar sekali danaunya. This is a really massive lake here, and it's not being used. I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's some sort of water reservoir that maybe once upon a time was used for the town's town water. Look, yeah, that's cool, eh? Obviously, there's walking tracks everywhere here. So they must come down here all the time. They know where they're going. I need to be a bit careful. Yeah. Okay, I'm down. Wow, keren ya.
Itu nih layangan nih. Apa orang mancing nih? Mancing. Ya orang mancing kayaknya.
Oh, there's a guy fishing over there apparently. Oh, that's pretty cool. The kids reckon they come in here every now and then when their kites fall in. They've got to come over here and retrieve them. Well, that's pretty cool. They're just telling me that on Sundays this place is filled with people who go fishing. So they must have fish in here. Ikan apa di sini?
Ikan jair,
Oh.
nila gitu, lele ada.
Oh, so they've got catfish. They've got the apa yang jair, yeah? Ikan jair. I don't know what that means, but I know lele is like a catfish. Yeah. Mad, isn't it? Like, that is mad. They're saying there's some sort of connection with this area and shooting and the fight with the Dutch. So there's some history here which they don't really know, but there's some connection with shooting and the Dutch. And apparently this didn't have water in it back in the day. Something like that. One of the really cool things is they are treating me with more respect than I've ever received in my whole life from anyone. They're treating me like an old guy, which I am. But you know, I think it's an old-fashioned thing that we probably don't do much in the West, is that old people used to be respected. And yeah, these kids, every time there's a little steep downhill, they'll stop and say, be careful, and make sure that I'm okay and that sort of stuff. Recognising them a bit older than them. I reckon they're just amazing. Makasih banyak ya. Makasih ya. Makasih ya. Yeah, okay. Bye. They're going that way, I'm going down this little alleyway. There it goes. Really, really nice guys. I really love meeting nice people, you know, it just makes your day. One of the things that people say is when you come to Bali, you've got to have something to do. And on one of my interviews recently with Dane, he said, you've got to have something really to keep yourself occupied. Here we go. I've just got a dead end here, I reckon. I have to. Unless I can get down there, no. I'm going back the same way those kids went. The thing is, for me, with this channel, it sort of gets me out there exploring and meeting people all the time. For me, that is what's keeping me just so happy in this place. I'm absolutely loving being here in Bali and exploring these places, but also meeting all of these fabulous people, because it just keeps your mood so high, you know. It's just a fabulous feeling to meet all these great people. I think as the years go on with my channel, and we've now been going for over 2.5 years, it's becoming more and more clear that some of these great interactions happen when you've got pretty decent language, or at least some language, to be able to interact with people. And I think that's why it's so important to try and learn. Hello, how are you? That's why it's important to learn at least something. Even if you've got a little bit of language, you can then ask people very simple things like, where is this, or how do I get here? Those simple things are, I think, what you need to learn straight off. And then to have a proper conversation, that comes later, and it's not as important. But these interactions that I'm having are actually happening on a very simple level, a very basic level, a very, a language that most people could learn within 6 months if they put their head to it. And I guess that's why my channel is sort of leaning into this whole language thing so much. It's not just about, I want to teach people how to speak Indonesian. Well, that's not really it. I want everyone to sort of have some of these really more in-depth interactions with people that I'm having, because I find that these interactions just take your visits to some place like Bali to a whole new level. We already love Bali, but you can love it even more if you've just got a little bit of language. That's why I'm sort of leaning into that language thing on the channel quite a lot these days. Well, that's really nice graffiti over there as well. I don't know where I've popped out to here, but it looks to be a fairly main road. I've got traffic lights here. This guy nearly getting wiped out by the truck. Where am I? Well, I know I'm in the west of town, and I could pull out my map, but I haven't done that yet. But what I'm seeing is some old ruko along the left-hand side here. The ones on the right are not as old, but the ones on the left are definitely old. And we all love a good old ruko, don't we? There's the one of those buses, those Transmetro Dewata buses. I just love those ones over there. They've got the Balinese styling, and they've got a bit of an age to them, which I can't really put my finger on. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 60s age, or maybe even earlier. Could it be? I don't know. the more and more I sort of explore Denpasar, the more that it sort of gets under my skin, and it's one of those things that you never expect with Denpasar because it's got such a bad reputation as being just a busy, noisy place with nothing of interest. But for me, it's got everything I want. Everything I want from a fair-sized Indonesian city, and it's quite walkable as well. I mean, I've got so much to explore in this city, I don't even know where I'm going to stop. It's just crazy. Every time I come here, I feel like I'm sort of opening a new chapter or a new area of the city that I didn't even know existed. Like them kids showing me some random lake in the middle of the city was completely unexpected. I know where I am. That is the Kawasan Heritage, Jalan Gajah Mada. So that is the main old city, and I've been down there a few times on the channel, so I know where I am now. I just have never been down that road. Well, that's about as good a place as any to wrap up this episode. Thanks for coming along for the ride today, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.